Hello everybody, welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. This is Cyrus. Today we're talking about, is astral projection dangerous and how to avoid bad experiences. So I hope this will be of some benefit to you guys who are afraid of the idea of leaving your body, or you've had bad experiences during sleep paralysis, bad experiences during dreaming, or even woken up and felt like a presence or something negative, and then this scared you really badly. Now, some people really suffer from negative experiences in the altered consciousness states, literally like the boogeyman in the closet. And this is an issue that I've seen many people deal with. So let's talk about how to address that. By the way, if you like this stuff, go down and hit that subscribe button real quick. Share the video, like the video, helps keep this little channel going. So we know that almost anyone can have an out-of-body experience. And when that happens, a lot of different types of things can happen. You could end up having a communion with deceased loved ones, what we talk about in this channel a lot. You could get visited by somebody. You could find yourself in a different plane of existence, a real and physical, tangible world with people around you. You could find yourself in a higher plane of existence, which is sometimes of a consistency that we can barely even describe with words. You may find yourself just out of your body floating around in your dark room. So a lot of different things can happen. But the main factor is your state of mind, because that decides where you're going to go, how, what types of people you're going to meet, what types of entities you're going to meet, and also how vulnerable you are. Now, unfortunately, someone who is in a chaotic state of mind is also vulnerable to what we know of as negative entities, shadow people, loosh harvesters, some of these ideas, some of these metaphysical entities that people have described or experienced over many, many years. And I believe these are real entities. I don't believe these are entirely mental projections. I have some reasons to believe that there are these lower plane, lower density beings. If you don't keep your mood in check, if you don't keep your mental states in check, you may find yourself gravitating into the sphere of influence of some kind of negative entity. This happens as a couple of very important points to keep in mind. The first point to keep in mind is the law of free will. So there is no entity in other planes of existence that can affect you unless you give it consent. So their whole job is to trick you into agreeing to something. So you don't want to end up in a situation where you are allowing an entity to come into your life or visit you. I want to give an example of something that happened very recently about how I got out of a situation that could have turned negative. I was basically having a dream, but that dream had a lot of indications that there was an astral experience happening because I was around what felt like real people. Now, in this group of people, we were discussing a urban legend, and this would be called the Puka. You can Google it. It's this kind of horned-looking, devilish-looking creature, and there was something called the Puka challenge. Now, you can Google that. I had no idea what a Puka was. I had no idea what a Puka challenge was until I Googled these things the next morning. Very common. If I'm having a true astral experience, I may get information coming to me. I have no idea what it is until I wake up the next day and look it up. It's a great way to have a confirmation that something was real. So basically, these kids I was hanging around, I say kids, maybe they're teenagers, who knows, they were saying that there's this challenge that people do where they tie a string around your wrist, and if you ever cut the string off, you will be haunted by and attacked by the Puka. So what they do is they walk up to you, they put the string around your wrist, they tie it, and then they say, you've just been selected by the Puka, and you can never cut the string off for the rest of your life, or else the Puka will come after you. So someone did this to me during this astral experience, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't have time for this. I don't want to deal with some weird entity. And they were showing pictures of it too, really like grotesque-looking creature with big, nasty horns and hunched over, and kind of an evil-looking creature. And they're like, this thing is going to visit you if you cut this off. And I looked at it and I said, look, I don't have time for this, and I don't want to submit to some rule that you've put in, because even if I kept the string on, and this was like a Buddhist string, I got this in India, this is not the Puka challenge string, but I'm using it as an example. If if someone puts this on my wrist and then I'm worried about it, I'm actually giving power to this, jerk who put this Puka challenge thing on me. I don't even want to give it any of my attention, any of my time. So I immediately grabbed like some scissors and I said, forget about this. I'm not playing this game. And I cut it off. And then this person said, oh, you shouldn't have done that because now the Puka is going to come and get you. Now here is what went wrong in this experience. I did not completely outframe the situation. I bought into what this person was saying a little bit, and so I felt a little bit of fear and paranoia about this Puka. And as soon as I did, I realized that an entity, which may have been the entity that impersonates or pretends to be this boogeyman, could feel that too, and it was zeroing in on me. And I had a distinct feeling that this thing was maybe going to appear in my bedroom and then give me a hell of a scare, and I don't have any time for that, and I don't care about dealing with that. And sure enough, that is what began happening. I began shifting perspectives from this astral dream type thing I was having back to my bed, and I soon found myself on my bed here in my bedroom, and my whole body was like having waves of electrical tingly feelings. This means my astral body was now separated. I could move it around. All I'd have to do is just sit up a little bit, and I'd be out of my body floating around my bedroom. And I had a strong feeling if I did that this entity was going to come down and attack me in my astral form. So what I did is I was like, hell no, I'm not buying into this. And so I got up off the bed. I did not leave my body. And now my whole body was tingling. And so it was almost like, I think fellow guys will get this. Like if you're taking a pee and you stop the pee right in the middle of it, and like you have a lot of pain. It's kind of that feeling if I'm about to go out of body and then I cut it off. My whole body was all tingly, but now it's all like, I feel really weird because I didn't allow the out-of-body experience to happen. So I get up off my bed and I'm like, I'm not fully there. I'm kind of like in between worlds. My whole body is tingly and feels weird. I have to get up. I get some water and I do some positive meditation work, prayer, go back into focusing on, the light of God, divinity, whatever you want to call it. I did some meditation, some breathing, and then I'm like, why was I even wasting my time with this or even giving those kids any of my energy? Or, if there was some stupid entity that wanted to scare me, it's just a trick, and it doesn't mean anything. And then I just went back to bed perfectly normal. I had no experiences after that, no problems. And I wouldn't have even had those problems happen to me if I had just not giving them any of my power, not giving them any consent. But you can see how it's easy to fall into a trap where you give consent, where you allow yourself to maybe get visited by a negative entity, and why you don't want to do that. You don't want that to happen. So that's the main thing, is just don't give any entity consent. And the second main thing is that as soon as you feel like you have, or as soon as you feel like there's some negative entity around you, basically just practice filling your whole being up with as much love as you can. Like I call it irrational love. So you love everything. You love that weird, Puka monster. You love the shadow person. You love everything. And you just have love and sympathy and kindness, even if that's not normally how you are. You kind of have to role play that. Just pretend like you're this extreme loving, just like irrationally, you just irrationally love everything, and try to put yourself into that state of mind as soon as you feel afraid, as soon as there's maybe something like haunting around the room with you. Just start projecting love. And it doesn't mean like letting something into your private space or like embracing something or bringing it into you. Just be an outward shining beacon of love. And that simple emotional change will 100% of the time pretty much send these astral pranksters, because that's usually what they are, running for the hills, and they'll never bother you. They'll never bother you again. So those are the main points. That's kind of in summary. Don't don't give anything consent and practice irrational love and positivity and just project that outward. And you shouldn't have any bad experiences, but you should be aware that these bad experiences can happen. You can end up in weird situations like the one I described, especially if you're on the astral plane or on that middle astral level, meeting people and having experiences and talking to people or socializing. You can get caught up in this stuff, and it's a real thing. But you just have to practice transcending beyond it, and knowing ultimately that none of these entities can harm you. They can't do anything to you. So hopefully that answers the question of how do you avoid bad astral experiences. And finally, of course, just stay in that positive state of mind ahead of time. Don't wait until a negative experience happens. Try to be in this kind of loving frame of mind before you go to bed, before you practice projection, like I described a couple of videos back. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. You can stay in touch at Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics on Facebook. You can also work with me personally for coaching about astral projection or any other topic I talked about on this channel. You can just shoot me a message at cyrus@cyruskirkpatrick.com, and I'll be able to get right back to you. That's it for this video. I will see you all on the next one.